Okay, hello everybody. Everybody should have the PDFs. If not, you could email me at mattpatella1001gmail.com. I will gladly send them to you. Let me put my email in there. And if you're watching or viewing, please get into the chat, ask some questions. And if you don't have the PDFs, I just entered my email. I will gladly send them to you. Email me and tell me what PDF you're looking for. Today's lesson is entitled Triplet Fill-ins, Part 2. The term fill or fill-ins, I hate that term fills because it's not really fills. It's you're leading, the way it's used is, I know fills. Every fill, every drummer should know, every 10 fills. That's kind of ridiculous. What it is, it's fill-ins. I'm leading, or it's lead-ins actually, to the music that I'm playing. I'm leading the band in and out of a verse or a chorus or the bridge or back to the head or whatever terms you want to use. What I'm doing today is I'm calling fill-ins. Fill-ins is a different term. If I'm using a triplet line, example, say with one hand, 1 and 2 and 4 and I just played a straight line or a linear line of triplets. However, if I play quarter notes and count eighth note triplet count, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I just played the 4 quarter notes, but I counted the eighth note triplet. And there's a space between the 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 that I'm going to fill in with the balance of the triplet. I'm going to maintain the right hand constant, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's a full stroke or a free stroke, which is going to give me an accent. So I'm going to put in the balance or the remainder of the triplet. That is called a fill-in. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have on the same voice 2 different sounds. An accent and 2 non-accents. Now that takes me to the first line of today's lesson. I'm going to fill just on one surface like I just did. Okay, now where I'm going next is I'm taking that accent and I'm going to distribute it among my voices. The first demonstration will be on the floor tom-tom voice and the snare drum. I am going to play my bass drum, however, on 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to use my hi-hat on 2 and 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Again. A little slower. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm containing myself to those 4 voices, the bass drum, the hi-hat, the floor tom-tom, and the snare drum. Now, I want to keep my left hand, I'm filling in the balance of the triplet with my left hand on the snare drum, but I can move the right hand around wherever I'd like. So, for example, the first one was this. Now I can go to the stick control book, which I'm using let's take the stick control book as 1 and 2 and instead of 1 and 2 and make it quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to play, my right hand is going to equal that sticking pattern. However, I'm going to change the voices. The voice is, the right voice would be here, the left voice would be here. So naturally I'm doing the first line in quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, right, right, left, right, left. But I'm going to take the right, right, left, right, left, right, left. And I'm going to fill it in with the triplet. A little faster. Now I'm interpreting from the stick control book. If I went to line 2 would be 2 rights. It would be, 2 rights and 2 lefts. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd have right, right, left, left, right, 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 left, left, right, right, left, left. Do the paradiddle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have this. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. So on and so forth. You could do the whole stick control book down for different flavors, different colors, different voices. Now, do we all understand that? If not, I could break it down somewhat slower. So before I continue, I'd like you to get into the chat and tell me you'd like to have it slower, you understand it, or it's okay. Hello? Okay, to the PDF sheet. Now, I just demonstrated it to one voice. Now, let's talk about harmonic and cross harmonic. And this is what the next step of the lesson is going to be. Harmonic is when 2 voices hit at the same time. Okay, that's harmonic. But I'm referring to harmonic as, because we're using the 4 limbs, the bass drum, the hi-hat, the ride cymbal, and the snare drum. Harmonic means what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with my right hand and my right foot at the same time. 1. So I'm going to maintain that harmonic structure, and with the snare drum and the hi-hat. So I'm going to do the first line. This one. Now you're going to develop some left foot here, because that's the forgotten foot. We're always playing 1, 2. On 2 and 4. So what we're going to do now, we're going to use the heart. We're going to play that first line. 1. That's 1 surface. 3 voices. Now harmony. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, cross harmonic is a term that I use for this particular lesson and quite a few other lessons, because I've established my harmonic sound from right to right, left to left. Now, cross harmonic is going to mean every time I play my right hand, I'm going to play my left foot. 1. Every time I play my snare drum, I'm going to play my bass drum. So now, let's do that first exercise in cross harmonic. I hope I have established that. If you have any questions with harmonic and cross harmonic, please put it into the chat or ask questions after the lesson is taped, videotaped, and put on YouTube. You could ask questions there or email me for questions, not a problem. So what I have now is cross harmonic. Remember, right hand, left foot. Right hand, bass drum. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, So that's the first exercise. That's harmonic. Oh, yeah. That's harmonic. Cross harmonic, I'm sorry. Cross harmonic would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop. Now, that's just a few different ways. I've wrote out the triplet roll formation, and before I get to that, I'd like to establish this. 1, playing it against the jazz time. You're playing the first note of the triplet on the bass drum, and the remainder of the triplet on the snare drum against time. So you're filling in with the bass drum against the jazz time. Nice and clean, nice and easy. Okay? That takes care of line 1. Now, I randomly selected these lines, and actually I got the lines as I did an exercise, a couple thousand lessons ago on triplet fills utilizing the stick control book. And if I'm not going to demonstrate or explain that interpretation. But this can follow into the syncopation book as well. If I'm playing 2/8 notes, 1 and 3 and, for example, if I look at a figure in a syncopation book, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, if I swing that, it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that figure, I'm going to fill in the triplet with my left hand on one voice. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now use the floor tom-tom. Here you go. 1. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Against the jazz time. Then we have it harmonically. And then cross harmonically. We have 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 3. Sorry about that. Anyway, let me get to the triplet rolls. I'm just a little, not confused, a little tired and overworked. Any questions, please ask, get into the chat. I know if you're watching or you're viewing this with an iPhone or a Chromebook, sometimes you're not able to get into the chat. I'm going to change the camera view for a second here and see if you like that better. There you go. Nope, not yet. I'm changing the view so you can see it differently. Please get in there and ask questions. Guess nobody wants to ask questions. Okay, There is really no definition of cross harmonic. I use that term inside of this lesson there, Ed. The question to everybody is, what is the definition of cross harmonic? Okay, because I'm utilizing four limbs here. I'm utilizing the ride cymbal with my right hand, the snare drum with my left hand, the bass drum and the hi-hat. So when I say harmonic, I can play any of those two voices or even four voices at one time. These notes are harmonic. They're all in unison. Now, the way I present this particular lesson, I'm referring to every time I play my right hand, I'm playing my bass drum so that my ride cymbal and my bass drum are in harmony, like that. Now, I'm playing my left hand on the snare and I'm playing my left foot on the hi-hat, so I'm making that harmonic. But I could use this. But I'm not referring to that. I want to refer to that today as cross harmonic because I'm crossing the limbs. I'm playing the right foot, bass drum at the bass drum and the ride cymbal at the same time. They're in harmony with each other. I call that harmonic. I play my snare drum and my hi-hat with my left hand. That's harmonic. Now, if I'm going to play, because of this particular lesson, I refer to cross harmonic as instead of playing the bass drum and the ride cymbal together, I'm playing the hi-hat and the ride cymbal together. So I'm using the right limb, the right hand, and the left limb, the left foot. I refer to that as cross harmonic. I use the snare drum and the bass drum at the same time. So if I'm playing the first line, for example, cross harmonic, it would be 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now some of these things you could play up tempo really well. Some things, hey, the left foot, the forgotten foot, it's pretty tough. If I was to play harmonically, I would play my right hand and my left hand and left foot together. Right foot, right hand together harmonically. Okay? Left hand, left foot together harmonically. 1. Now if I was to play that cross harmonic, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if I took the first line again, 1, 2, 3, that's using it 2 voices, 3 voices now. Now, if I want to play, I'm playing harmonically there, not harmonically, I'm just using 3 voices. If I played it harmonically, it would be 1, 2, 3. I have my right hand hitting and the bass drum hitting at the same time. 1. On the end of the triplet, I'm having my left hand and my hi-hat hit. And then on the da. So I had this. Cross harmonic, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's really no definition for cross harmonic. Just as because I'm doing this lesson, this particular lesson, and I can communicate with everybody, that's what I'm doing. Do you understand that, Ed? Also, what I'm going to be doing, Ed, on Thursday evenings, I'm going to do another broadcast on this channel, this YouTube channel. And I'm going to just devote that to reading skills, how to develop some reading skills. And we're going to start with the syncopation book. I'm going to try to make it as much fun as possible, and it's for all levels. You know, a lot of guys went through the syncopation book. Some people don't know it was syncopation book. Honestly, some people do not know how to read, period. So it's going to be for all levels on Thursday evenings. beginners, intermediate, and advanced. I'm not going to make it cold, cut, and dry. I'm going to have a lot of fun with the syncopation book. We'll take a page, we'll read it down on one surface, we'll do some different things with it, make it much more musical. We'll play it with triplet fills, we'll play it harmonically, we'll use accents, paradiddles, so on and so forth. And it's really going to help, I believe, a lot of people. And hopefully that if you really want to learn how to read, you come and view that. Now, I know that, Ed, you as in particular are a very seasoned musician, and you do know how to read. I am going to start bringing some stuff into these lessons, like, for example, we were talking about the other day, Variations of Drumming by Ralph C. Pace. And I will demonstrate to everyone a full, F-O-O-L, proof way of reading, so you won't make any mistakes. I will give counting systems. I will give definitions of time signatures. And if you need to be good at fractions in math, because that's all it is. And we'll work with certain time signatures. 7/8, 5/8, 5/4, 11/8, 11/4, so on and so forth. So I'm going to try to make it as pleasant and as helpful to everybody as possible. So it's going to be first, as an introductory lesson, I'm going to start off simple, and to excite the people who don't know how to read and show them that reading is not that boring, we'll take it to different platforms. And also, they just don't understand reading is essential, and they don't feel that it is essential. That's why they don't bother to read. I have some people on Facebook, my groups, and they play some really nice stuff, and I asked them to write it out, and the response is, well, I don't know how to read, or I don't know how to write notation. That's pretty sad. Like I keep telling everybody, the lesson, the drumming language has to be universal as opposed to different from everybody. Counting systems, what is a kick drum or a bass drum, a wing tom, a rack tom, a small tom. This has to be established. And also, I am in a process right now of making a video of explaining how I feel about the molar system and what actually it really isn't. Okay? And you need to know the laws of physics, the distance, the weight, the speed, and the level system. And that's in process right now. Okay, so now, the triplet roll. Did we establish that, Ed? Roll triplet, that is how you pronounce it. But to me, it's a triplet roll. And to every drummer that I've spoken to, it's a triplet roll. I never heard that terminology, roll triplet. So I'm sure that, you can play a triplet roll or a roll triplet, as you refer to it, very well. Let me just demonstrate still on the first one. If we're doing a triplet roll, I want to establish that first. I'm counting eighth note triplets, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Now, per count, I'm going to double each stroke. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's a triplet roll. So go back to the first line of the PDF. We're filling in the triplet. Now, how we're going to do that, if you look at the last line of the PDF, I have the accents on 1, 2, whoa, Oh, that's not the first line. All right. The first line on 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're going to take a triplet roll and roll to the downbeat. All right, we have 1 and 2. It's a 5-stroke roll. Now, what I like to do with that is move it around the drum set somewhat. And whenever I come to a right-hand accent, I drop it down onto the floor tom-tom. When I come to a left-hand accent, I drop it down to the rack tom-tom, wing tom-tom, or small tom-tom, whichever you want to call it, okay? So now we have this. The 1, 2, 3, 4, bang. We understand that, Mr. Ed. Oh, and I'm wearing my new t-shirt I got in the mail. Around the Kit, Drum Talk Radio. It's on every Sunday night. And you call in, it's a toll-free number, and you get to talk, or not talk, but listen to the host, which is Joe Gannis. And what he does, he invites all these well-known drummers like me, no, Alan Herman, Dave Stanek, Kenny Arnoff, Greg Bissonette, so on and so forth. And he asks them questions, and you can listen to their responses. It's a really good service that Mr. Joe is doing to everyone. Around the Kit, Drum Talk Radio. I will, perhaps tonight, give you the phone number of that. And you get to hear guys like Thomas Lang, David Garibaldi, Mike Clark, Lenny White. He asked him a question. Well, how long do you practice every day, you know? Or what's your approach to learning a tune? So and you hear their approaches. And it's just knowledge being shot out on the telephone, listening to these guys. Great service. The man works hard, and he provides this service free to everyone, and I think it's a really wonderful thing. Shares with the drum community what he can. And we want a big shout out to Joe Gannis about thank you. Okay, now, again, I might even do, instead of 4 and adding Thursdays at 1 p.m., or 8:30 p.m., it's going to be 8:30 p.m. as a matter of fact, not 7:30 p.m. And maybe I'll do another lesson once in a while at 1 p.m., only devoted to reading. How's that sound, Ed? Now, I'm going to have to sign off. And I really appreciate nobody coming into the chat and asking questions. And Paul and Mike were supposed to be here, but they didn't come here. I guess they overslept from partying for the President's Day. Any questions before I sign off? I will be back tonight on my channel, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Matt Patella, livelessons.com. Okay, gentlemen? Have a rest of good day, okay? Okay, gentlemen, time to say bye-bye, time to go practice and become better and learn as much as possible today as I didn't yesterday. That's how I look at life from now on as a musician. What can I learn new today to improve myself? Big kind of thing. Okay, see everybody tonight. Have a good day.